The heart and blood circulation. The human heart is a hollow muscular organ that pumps blood to the lungs and to the different parts of our body. This is an example of the human heart. It consists of four chambers, the left and right atrium, and the left and right ventricle. This part is the left atrium, this one is the right atrium, this one is the right ventricle, and this part is the left ventricle. The left and right atrium are the receiving chambers, and it contracts to push blood into the lower chambers. So this part, the right atrium and the left atrium, serve as the receiving chamber, while the left and right ventricles are the pumping chambers that propels blood to the lungs and to the rest of the body. So the lower chambers, the right and the left ventricle, serve as the pumping chambers of the heart. The left part of the heart carries oxygenated blood or oxygen-rich blood from the lungs, while the right part of the heart carries deoxygenated blood or oxygen-poor blood from the different parts of the body. So here, in this diagram, it shows that the left side, this is the left side of the heart, it carries oxygen-rich blood or oxygenated blood. These are the blood that came from the lungs. While the right side, this one is the right side of the heart that carries the oxygenated blood or oxygen-poor blood. These are the bloods that came from the different parts of the body. There are three types of blood circulation in human body. The first one is the pulmonary circuit. The pulmonary circuit is the circulation of the blood from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart. The other one is the systemic circuit, which is the circulation of the blood from the heart to the different parts of the body and from the different parts of the body back to the heart. And the last one is the coronary circuit, which is the circulation of the blood through the tissues of the heart. So how does the blood flow in the heart? As I've said earlier, there are two types of blood that the heart carries, the deoxygenated and the oxygenated blood. So in this diagram, it shows how the blood flows in the heart. The red arrow indicates the oxygen-rich blood that came from the lungs, and the blue arrow indicates the oxygen-poor blood or the oxygenated blood that came from the different parts of the body. So let us trace the flow of the blood. From the lungs, the oxygenated blood goes to the heart through the left and the right pulmonary vein. From there, it moves down to the left atrium, which is the receiving chamber of the heart, moves down to the bicuspid bulb, then to the left ventricle, then to the semilunar bulb, then to the aorta, and to the different parts of the body to deliver the oxygen needed by our body cells. And once that the blood that carries the oxygen was delivered in the different parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood will go back to the heart to pump it back to the lungs. So from the different parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood enters the heart through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. From there, it moves to the right atrium, then to the tricuspid bulb, to the right ventricle, then to the pulmonary semilunar bulb, then to the left pulmonary artery and to the right pulmonary artery. Then it will go back to the lungs to get more oxygen, and the cycle continues. So to summarize, from inferior and superior vena cava, the deoxygenated blood will move to the right atrium, tricuspid valve, right ventricle, pulmonary semilunar valve, pulmonary arteries, then to the lungs to get oxygen. When the blood gets the oxygen, it will move and become oxygenated. It moves to the pulmonary vein, the left atrium, bicuspid valve, left ventricle, aortic semilunar valve, to the aorta, then to the arteries, and to the capillaries where the exchange of gases happens. For your task today, you have to do the learning task 4 of science module on pages 10 to 11. For the task 4, you have to read a handout about the heart and blood circulation from page 10 to page 11. Then on page 11, there are 4 guide questions that you have to answer based on the handout that you have read. You will write your answer on a clean sheet of paper. You have to write the answers only. Then after doing the learning task 4, you will continue working on the learning task 5. On learning task 5, there is a diagram that shows the blood flow from the lungs to the heart. You have to write the number that corresponds to the correct order by tracing the blood flow in the correct order. And some numbers are indicated already as your guidelines, as your guide. And what are the things to remember? What are the things to remember in doing your task? Number 1, once you're done, take a picture of your work and send it to my personal FB account. Do not send your output on our group chat. If you have no data or internet connection, you can keep it on an envelope and wait for the schedule of the submission of outputs. And that's all for today. Happy learning and thank you.